I'm half jealous of myself, but I'm sitting here.
All right. Let's see here. I gotta grab my sheet. Where the heck did that go? Since I'm here by myself, I gotta get all this going here.
We're supposed to be professionals here.
Yeah, I got it. Give me a break. All right. Facebook Live. Sponsors. New one, Heartland Hardware out of Brandon, South Dakota. You need any appliances? They have beds there. Go to Brandon, go to George, go to Haywarden. There's a place everywhere. They have the best appliances around for the best price. Kaiser Aluminum Wheels out of Orange City / Alton area. They just signed with us this week. Houston Speedway, my race pass. Just did another 6 months with us with Josh Holt. Thank him very much. S2F, start to finish streaming. It looks like they have races coming up. Oh, what's the date here? March 15, they have 3 different races on. March 20, March 21, March 22. They have a ton of races coming up, absolutely a ton. So if you haven't downloaded start to finish, I definitely recommend them. Mount Tabor Cabinetry out of PA. Chris Fizzle does the best cabinetry work there is. Morning Sun Marketplace. It's your flea markets. They have 3 football long size buildings of you name it, they got it, and they have the best food possible there also. Turn 2 Lodge out of Knoxville, right beside the track. Great place to stay. Falcons Brothers Trucking as my sidekick. That piece of crap is in Vegas right now, getting ready to watch High Limits Thursday. And then, of course, Hero Haven out of Brandon, South Dakota also. And not to keep him waiting any longer, but
just so you don't feel bad, bud, there is a little chance of rain for us down here tomorrow morning.
Oh, that's too bad.
So it's not perfect.
So I'm supposed to fly out to go be with my daughter in Phoenix on Saturday, and it's supposed to be a blizzard here. It's 70 degrees right now, but it's supposed to be a blizzard on Saturday. So, all right, here we go with the podcast. Hoagie's Garage, we're back, and we're very lucky. My sidekick is in Vegas and ready for the High Limits, but we have Chris Windom on. How you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys?
Great.
Oh, living the dream, baby. Living the dream right now.
Heck yeah.
Oh, Chris, we know you had a new little baby. Tell us about yourself a little bit before we get into the racing stuff.
Yeah, we Georgia Henneberry and I just had our first kid, actually just a little over 3 weeks ago now. So that's kind of been my full-time job. My top was trying to be on the Outlaw Tour this year. So I've just been the last 3 weeks flying back and forth from the racetrack and coming home and playing dad and trying to give her as much relief as possible. And that's about what our lives are consisted of at this moment in time.
Did you get yourself a sleeper or one that's up all night?
Well, so far it's kind of been, he hasn't been bad, but he definitely wakes up more than we would like. She's normally up with him at least every couple hours throughout the night.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. My daughter just had one. She's what now? 4 weeks old? Month old? 2 months old. She slept for 10 hours the other night. She had to wake her up, get her up to go to church in the morning.
Well, that's good to hear. Hopefully we got some.
So there's hope for you, Chris.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How did? Go ahead, bud.
Nope, go, Joe.
How did you get started in racing? I mean, was it a family thing, or what got you involved in racing, and what have you all raced? I mean, you've raced about everything.
Yeah. Actually, my dad raced flat track motorcycles back in the day. I think back in the 70s, and I think he quit in the 80s. But I grew up knowing that and riding dirt bikes around the house. And I actually wanted to race motorcycles, but he wouldn't let me. So we got a go-kart when I was 7, and I'm from Central Illinois, a little small town called Canton. There's actually a racetrack there called Spoon River Speedway, and that's where I started racing go-karts when I was 7. And I think I was actually supposed to be 8. We told him I was 8, but I was actually 7. But we won quite a few races and won the track championship, and slowly progressed. I mean, I guess not slowly, it was rather fast. I think by the time I was 9 or 10, we were traveling the country racing go-karts all over the country. So all all circle track stuff, the ovals and pavement, but it was all circle track go-kart racing. And we did that till I was 12, and then we hooked up with a guy named Rodney Staley out of Indiana, and he owns Concept Micro Chassis. And we started racing micros when I was 12 at a lot of tracks around Indiana, and kind of mainly stayed in Indiana for that. Didn't do a ton of traveling, as there was plenty of racing over here. And then I started in a Kenyan midget, actually, which I think they're still around, but it was a pretty big deal back when I was that age, running with Mel Kenyon, and he had his own series. It's kind of like a feeder series into USAC national type midget racing, but stepped into that, and we won the Kenyan midget championship. And when I think I was 14 the first time I actually tested a 410 sprint car. So we actually went back to Spoon River Speedway in my hometown and tested there. And I don't really recall how great it went. I'm sure I thought it was awesome. Yeah. But yeah, so we started racing around local tracks that would let me in Indiana when I was 15. And I think it was mainly just Paragon Speedway and Kokomo Speedway were the only 2 places that would actually let me race. So I ran a couple of seasons there, won a couple races at Paragon Speedway, and then when I was 16, we started running the full USAC tour, sprint car and midget. And back then it was actually pavement and dirt were the points, so we had to run pavement and dirt on the same schedule for the points championships. So that was a lot, but I enjoyed it. And I raced USAC from like 2000, I think 2008 to 2020. I ran pretty much full-time USAC. I was fortunate enough to win all 3 championships. I won the sprint car championship in 2017, the Silver Crown championship in 2016, and then we won the midget championship in 2020. So that was kind of, at that point, I really enjoyed wing racing. It was just something I never really had the opportunity to do because I had just been a non-wing guy my whole career. So luckily enough, I hooked up with NOS Energy Drink, and they were willing to move to the wing side of stuff with me. And that's 2021 was the first year I was racing for Brody Hayward and Hayward Motorsports in a non-wing car, and he was good enough to build me a wing car and let us try to go wing racing. And none of us really knew what the heck we were doing.
That's just like me and Bud, so you were on the same boat.
Yeah, Austin Winrick was the crew chief, and he had a little wing experience working on some outlaw teams, but not as a crew chief, just more as a crew guy. So it was pretty much brand new to all of us, and we made the transition and ran the first year, and then I bounced around. I went to lane racing the following year. Went to Premier Motorsports, and now we're on the Outlaw Tour with Jason Sides. So that's kind of how I got my career started and where it's got to now. And I've also ran a lot of other stuff in between. I've ran some NASCAR stuff. I ran the Bristol Cup race. I raced the Indy Lights race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So definitely been fortunate enough to run a lot of cool different types of race cars.
Yeah.
Hey, and I thought I was fortunate being in Vegas and he got to drive everything. But I got to go back just a little bit to the start of your story. First of all, you said your dad didn't want you to race on the motorcycles, which is good, because every time we have an ex-motocross guy on the show, we have to ask him what he's all broken.
Yeah.
And most of them have always broke something.
Yeah,
Always
that's
an
for sure.
arm or a leg, whatever. And then we have to ask, because we live in a small town, or grew up in a small town. What do you call small when you said your hometown?
Well, our hometown, I think it had like 14,000 people, but it was the biggest town with like 40 miles. It was pretty big. It was big for that area. So the whole area, I would just consider. I mean, every surrounding town was around 1,000 people.
Tobe,
In this case, you could hear that jet. That guy, I could see him in the cockpit. He was low enough I could see him.
oh,
But today we have to ask that question about size of the town, because Lester was like 200 when I was growing up in it.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was
Now
definitely
200, there's no zeros behind the 200. Not like 200,000. It's just 200.
there's a lot of those around our town. But
Yeah.
Canton, I would still consider a small town, but it was big for that area, I guess.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
bet. Getting back a little bit, you said you raced dirt and, say asphalt. That has to be a huge difference, doesn't it, when you do that?
Oh yeah, I mean it was a big difference, and it was kind of something you had to jump into with the sprint cars and midgets, because they all back in the early, or I think all the way to 2000. Shoot, I don't remember what year they quit running both, but it had to have been close to 2010. You had to race both if you wanted to run for a USAC championship. So I think it was a good thing to jump in and learn how to race on the back then. That probably helped me get further along in my career with some other stuff that I did.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't know how many planes they got flying around down here, but they're going round and round here, so I'm sorry, fellas.
I was gonna say you might have to go inside because it's getting pretty loud.
Well, they're getting closer to us.
What made you want to try the wing side? Just because you've accomplished everything on the USAC side, or why try the wings?
Yeah, I think it was kind of a combination of a lot of things. Like I said, I always enjoyed wing racing, and then kind of like you said, at that point I felt like I had accomplished basically everything I wanted to in USAC, and I obviously saw the money side of things on the wing racing, and where it can be exponentially better if you run well with a wing on. So I think it was a combination of all those things that intrigued me, and I honestly I love challenging myself, and with having the people and the sponsors that were willing to do it with me, I thought it was just something I was ready to do. I wouldn't really say I was burnt out on USAC racing, but I don't know, I was kind of at the point to where I just was kind of sick of going to the same racetracks every year and racing in Indiana 50 times. I wanted to get out on a new schedule and do something different, and so I would say it was, it wasn't just one specific thing, but kind of a combination of all those things.
Yeah.
And you're going to see a lot of country with the Outlaws, because they cover it all. Heck, you're going to go to Canada this year.
Yeah, we do in May. Yep.
Yeah.
If Canada and the United States are still speaking, so we'll have to see what happens there.
Yeah, I was a little worried. I wondered if we're actually going to get to go or not.
Yeah. Did you have a question, Tope?
No, we answered that. We were talking about Canada.
Oh, okay. See, we read each other's minds, Tope. But
yeah, we've been doing this for too long already, bud. Well, we've known each other for too long. Let's go that route.
Yeah, absolutely. With the wing, has it been a tough transition for you or not? I mean, you said you kind of started out with a group of guys that didn't know wings too well. Has it been getting better and better for you?
Yeah, I think every year has had its ups and downs. Obviously I don't think the results have been there that I'm used to in non-wing racing and USAC, but I just feel like wing racing is it definitely is a hard transition as a driver, but just as tough as it is as a driver, I feel like it's so much more prominent that everything's got to be good. The driver's got to be good.
Yep.
Your equipment's got to be good. The crew chief's got to be good. I mean, it's a whole package there to where, not necessarily that it's not in non-wing racing, but you know, when people ask me that, I guess the best way to put it is I felt like I could take a 10th place non-wing car and run in the top 5 with it, to where I feel like that's a lot harder to do than a wing car. So, it's kind of the whole package deal, and I've learned and been fortunate to race for good teams, and had good and bad things come out of every team I've raced for so far. But I just don't really feel like the entire package has quite been there yet. And this year, I'm really happy so far with Jason Sides and these guys. I feel like we're really close to being right there every night. I think we've had 3 top 10s in the last 4 races with the Outlaws. So, it takes a little time with a new team to adjust to each other and figure everything out. But I think we're headed in the right direction for sure.
Yeah. And well, then you're with Jason, and he's been racing for how long? So you got your crew chief, you could say, that's been around the sport. He's gonna know things, and you're with an experienced team this year. Let's put it that way.
Yes, that's one thing I've noticed, and Jason's not lacking, knowledge, and just being around doing this as long as he's done. He kind of just knows off the back of his hand what's got to be done each week for running the schedule.
Yeah.
And he's been to probably every track in the nation more than once. So
I think he knows somebody in every single town we've been to so far too. So.
I can believe that.
The one thing I love about Jason is the fact that he's so eager to help every single guy out. He has his own race team, but he could care less who he's helping. He just wants to see cars on the track.
Well, that is exactly right. And I didn't know him that well, other than I knew those things to an extent, but being around him and seeing everybody that comes over and asks him stuff, or just needs something here or there, he's definitely that guy in the pit area that anybody could come up and ask for help from.
Yeah.
And if the only reason you ain't gonna see him standing by the car that's in the work area is if there's 2 of them and he's over by the other one. Otherwise, during the feature especially, he's going to be standing there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, switching a little bit away from the racing part, going back to Mom and the new baby, will they get to do some traveling with you this year, or?
Yeah, we she's staying home with him for the first month or so. I think our first race we're going to attempt to go to with all of us is Peevely and I-55 in April. So. We'll try to do that, and then she'll come to a few more probably. But she got a job with Fox this year for IndyCar, so she's going to be Fox pit reporter the whole summer for IndyCar. So she's going to be busy too after May.
So there's the whole operation in that household is racing.
Yeah. Georgia's an awesome pit reporter, and like I said, Fox hired her this year, so she's going back to work right around the Indianapolis 500. And
okay.
Pretty busy the rest of the year after that.
I think a full-time nanny might be need to be hired.
Yeah, we're looking into that. Luckily, right now we've got my mom and her mom and my sister and a lot of people that want to help out. So.
That's awesome.
For the time being, but definitely gonna probably have to have it.
Everybody likes to hold on to a new baby.
That's right.
Well, yeah, my wife points at me right now. You don't. I said, well, no, they break easy if you drop them. So I want somebody else to drop them the first time.
What kind of?
Back to racing.
Yeah. What kind of track do you feel is your best? Do you like the half miles? Do you like the shorter ones like Huset's? What do you feel is, more your style?
I would say throughout my whole non-wing career, I always enjoyed half miles and excelled more on the big tracks. I haven't quite gotten there in the wing stuff yet, but I definitely would say I prefer the half miles over the bull rings, which I know in wing racing is not a popular opinion for most people. But, I like all tracks, but I would say throughout the entirety of my career, half miles would be more of my specialty.
Yeah.
Well, you got your premier events at the big tracks. You got obviously the Knoxville Nationals. You got the Kings Royal are on big tracks. Then you got to try and win the high banks at Huset's on the short track. So they spread it around, but I mean, there's definitely you can shine on either one of them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say the majority of the big money races, minus Huset's and a few others, you gotta be good on the half miles if you want to be good at the big money races.
So if you run consistently podium on the big tracks and top 5 on the short tracks, it'll be a good year for you.
Getting back a little bit to say the NASCAR, you did the Indy Lights. What was that whole process like for you, and how much fun was it, or was it just, strictly business the whole time?
I would say the Indy Lights stuff was kind of a cool deal to do. I was able to actually get that deal with David Bird, and NOS Energy Drink was helping there too. But David Bird is a guy who took Brian Clausen to the Indy 500, and they ran some Indy Light stuff before he took Brian to the 500, and obviously with everything that happened to Brian, David took a year or two off from that, and I think he decided he wanted to get a dirt guy back, try to get a dirt guy back to the 500, and he reached out to me about it, and that's kind of how that all came about. And it was definitely a tough transition jumping in and getting in a rear engine car that was full downforce type of race car. It's just a totally different driving style than any sort of sprint car that you race. So yeah, it was tough, but everything was going good, and we ended up crashing the first lap of the Freedom 100 because another car spun out in front of us in turn 3 and 4, and I had nowhere to go and drove up on him and put it in the fence pretty hard. So that kind of killed all the momentum to try to run the Indy 500 the following year, but that's kind of how that came about.
You bet.
Yeah. And switching around here a little bit, I like to jump around because I'm a little bit dazed out here anyhow looking at things. But going back to NOS, just a curiosity thing for me, what NOS does for racing in general. I mean, not just sprint car racing, but you see NOS involved in everything. And I'd be amazed to know how many cans of NOS they give away in an outlaw season.
It's pretty amazing.
I mean, we've asked the gals what they give away just at Knoxville on the weekend, and God, I don't remember what it was the last time they gave us a number, but it was a lot of cases. And then they're all year long. It just amazes me.
Yeah, they definitely, when they decided they wanted to get into the race or the dirt track racing especially, they went all in on it. So that's definitely helped a lot of us out. I don't think most of the NOS guys would be doing what they're doing without them. So
no, well, there's 3 of you running the Premier Out the Sprint Car Series,
right. That's what I'm saying.
And when you're the main sponsor, that's not $1,000 sponsorship.
No, it's not.
So it just bless their heart. I mean, I'm sick of the death that they're doing it because it just makes the events that much better for everybody. It keeps the teams going, and the people are going. They're wired up on NOS at the track.
No, it's great. Anytime I see any negativity about it, it just doesn't make sense to me because you wouldn't have what you have right now if it wasn't for them. So
no,
absolutely.
But then, go ahead. Let's being we're already talking about the one sponsor. Who else you got for sponsors on the car this year? We like to get them thrown out there a little bit.
Yeah, I've got NOS Energy Drink, obviously, and then Elliott's Custom Trailers, Cindy Elliott's another supporter of mine for the last 6 or 7 years. $Dollar Restoration, and then Jason's got a ton of his own sponsors. King Racing Products. Oh shoot, I got some only 4 or 5 races in. I gotta remember them all.
That's all right. We ain't gonna hold it against you, that's for sure. And we write ours down, so hey.
But yeah, as far as my full-time ones go, that's who helps me out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What's the name of that brewery? Wasn't it a few years ago him and Wade were touring the brewery and inside this trailer at Knoxville or something? They done a little clip on that one time. He had a brewery in there, I think.
The Sides Bar and Grill.
Yeah. So,
yeah, he's definitely gonna be the party in the crowd at Knoxville.
So I'm getting way sidetracked here. Sorry, fellas.
When you first started racing, what was your number when you started racing? And if you remember, what was your dad's number on his flat track bike?
Yep, his number was 17, and that was what my number was all the way up until I got my first ride with another car owner.
Okay.
So it was 17 the whole time.
Do you know why your dad had 17?
You know, I don't actually. That's a good question. I don't think I've ever actually asked that.
Okay. No, sometimes there's good stories behind numbers. So, but
It could be.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know that you wanted to keep your dad's number. So that's still pretty cool in my book. So,
Yeah.
but
sure.
Is there a track or a place that you're going this year that you're really looking forward to?
No. I don't know if there's anywhere really that I'm looking forward to that we haven't been already. I enjoy going to California. I'm excited to go back to Paris, California, and race there. I don't love all the other tracks there, but I definitely I like Paris. So I don't know. I haven't got to go there since we were in the Oval Nationals in an on-road car, so that's kind of a place I'm excited to go back to. And I'm trying to think. Actually, speaking of, I've never got to race Huset's in a wing car yet, so I'm excited to go there and race too.
Yeah.
Well, you can count on us stopping by and thanking you again for being on our show when we get there.
Yeah, for sure.
You doing the golf tournament there?
I don't know. I haven't got that far yet.
Okay. Well, we are, so you can laugh at us if you want to come watch some entertainment and golfing.
No.
It's not for the skill level. It's just purely entertainment.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know the new baby, your time's really important to you. So we're going to fire through these rapid fire. Tobe doesn't have them in front of him, so I'm probably going to do most of these here. So what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate.
Are you a cat or dog person?
Definitely dog, not cat.
Do you have a dog?
Definitely dog.
Do you have a dog?
Yeah, we do. His name's Tuna.
Tuna.
Oh.
That's interesting. Do you have any hobbies other than racing and changing dirty diapers?
Yeah. I really enjoy fishing. That's what I do a ton when I'm not racing, and also playing hockey.
Ooh, hockey.
Yep.
You still
Hey,
play
Dad,
it?
you know what that means? That means he's in better shape than you and me.
Well, it means he's might be missing a tooth here or there too.
I know. I'm not that serious. Yeah.
When you go fishing, what kind of fishing you going for?
Man, I do everything. Whenever we're around, in Florida racing or on vacation, I do a lot of deep sea fishing. But my family lives in Tennessee and has a lake house on Old Hickory Lake there, so I have a bass boat there. I do a lot of crappie fishing down there. So really anything.
Yeah,
that crappie fishing, you get them, man, we get a bunch of them. Bud's brother's got a cabin up in Minnesota, and they bring us some fish, and we have a fish fry in the garage. Damn, you can't go wrong with fresh crappie.
No, that's probably my favorite type of fishing, just because I enjoy eating them so much.
Yes, absolutely. Totally agree with you there. You have a favorite movie?
I don't know if I have one. I'd say probably any Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most all them, you can't go wrong for a good laugh.
Yeah. Do you prefer snow or rain?
Probably snow.
All right. Do you snowmobile or you just prefer snow?
I've done it. I mean, I wouldn't say I snowmobile. I've gone a few times up in northern Wisconsin, but I just don't really, not I do in the rain. Rain means rainouts at a racetrack.
That's right.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of rain.
You don't get snowed out a lot during the race season.
Right, exactly.
So, what was that picture that Sam had on his phone?
Oh, that was Lee. Lee Goes, the guy we sponsor in a 410-305. He was out in Wyoming, I think. And all you could see was the track sticking up out of the snow. It like tipped over in the snow and sunk, and the track was sticking out of the snow. Oh, that was it.
Yeah, I think
They had a project ahead of them.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'd say so.
This one comes from our good buddy Chris Fizzle out in PA, but he wants to know if you're stranded on an island, what kind of music do you need to have along with you?
Stranded on an island, probably something to relax me. I'd say some 90s country.
90s country.
That'll work.
Yep.
That's another country for me, bud.
Yep, absolutely.
Bud don't like country.
No. Although 90s country, I could, Garth Brooks and Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, I could, Steve Earle, Sawyer Brown, those are the ones I like. So, do you have a favorite place to go out to eat?
Oh man, that's tough too. We do like to eat at a lot of different places, so I don't know. I'd say just probably a good steakhouse.
Yep, that's what we both prefer also. Do you have a favorite holiday?
Probably Christmas. My birthday's on December 24th, so I kind of get a birthday and Christmas back to back.
Yep.
So, did you get robbed?
Better now with the baby.
Yeah, that's too. I'm excited for that.
When they get to be about 2, then they really start enjoying them.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you get robbed when you were young? I mean, did you just get birthday presents, or did they actually give you?
I get asked that. Everybody asks me that, but I don't know if just because I don't know any different or what. But I thought it was cool. I thought it was kind of cool to get presents 2 days in a row.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I didn't really feel like I got robbed.
Okay, that's good. What app on your phone do you use the most?
Probably Twitter
Okay.
or Instagram.
We asked this because you're a driver. How many speeding tickets do you have?
Oh man, I've gotten a lot better with age, but I think I'd say I have 15 plus.
That's
It's getting up there, but it ain't by no near the record yet for us.
No.
I have the next question, bud, if you want.
Go ahead.
I haven't had any for a couple of years.
Okay, so in regards to speeding tickets then, what's the fastest you've ever driven or, say, ridden in the front seat with a guy and gone down the highway?
In a streetcar?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the highway.
I used to have an SRT 8 Jeep Green Cherokee, so I'd probably say that's the fastest. I don't know. I'm trying to think what else I've been in that's fast. I would say probably 140, 150.
That's getting up there.
Up there.
That's
We had
getting up there.
185 last week, I think.
I
Yeah.
don't think I've gone that fast in an Indy Lights car, but not on a
What's your favorite drink or go-to beverage?
NOS Energy Zero, duh.
There you go.
There's a man. That's got her figured out.
That was like Brian Brown. He didn't stop talking about Casey's the whole time he was on here. So, if you had all the money in the world or you just won the lottery, is there a car, a pickup, a boat, anything you've ever dreamed of owning?
Oh, it'd definitely be a Viking fishing boat. I'd be putting my ass in the ocean and going fishing.
There you go.
That's a big boat then, I take it.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's in the millions range there.
There you go.
Well, that's what the lottery's all about.
Yep, absolutely. We're excited to see you back at Huset's. I think it's going to be a blast seeing new faces there. And, we're just excited to see where you go this year, Chris.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
You bet. So thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right.
We really appreciate you coming on. Have a good year and be safe.
Sounds good. Thank you guys. We'll talk to you later.
You bet.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye. All right. I think he's off.
Okay.
All right.
Walk around and push the button, bud.
Will do. Thanks for reminding me.
Hey, I got to keep an eye on you, even though I'm not there, you know.